Hello YouTube, let's go ahead and start making some music. Alright, so we're going to open up PyCharm and I'm just going to walk us through the software that that produces the regression. It's creating jazz by machine learning. So I have a few source files. We can listen to what that sounds like in just a second. A few source files downloaded from the Junior Virtuoso competition in MIDI. Hold up, I'm gonna take a break and get some coffee. Okay, now that I have a cup of coffee and a cigarette, let's go ahead and take a look at the software. So it starts off by importing Mido. Mido is a Python MIDI interpreter and can do things like save MIDI files is what I use it for, and then reading in MIDI files. Okay. So I read in these 4 MIDI files from the competition, and each one is different. I kind of wish it had the original. I know the first one's Bach. I think the third one is Chopin. Anyway, you're free. Those are free on the internet. You're free to go ahead and try to find them. Just search on AHFAT, and you'll find the pianist that created these MIDI files and released them Creative Commons. But I have tweaked the software here to run 4 parts, 4 regressions of the notes, and then for each file it runs through them 4 times. For each file it goes through the tracks, increases the track, and then goes through the notes in each track and records them into an array, this array original note list. Then here it uses pandas, creates a data frame with the original note list, filters it down to just the features that are numerical, and then splits them into 2 groups for doing the regression, the test group and the model group. That's big X and little x. It uses from Scikit-Learn, K-Neighbors regressor. I have a huge regression at 16. But that can be set as low as usually 3. But originally the software was looking at Beethoven's Ninth, which happens to have at every 16th beat a rest. So I wanted to have a rest note also considered in the regression, so that's why that was at 16. And then it does the regression fitting of the 2 sides, and then it predicts what notes would be following. This is really interesting, actually. To a candidate array of predictions. And then creates a file resource. This doesn't even have to be in the software, actually. I'll just remove that. Originally it was just to compare it to an actual random file, but we don't need that. And then a personal object, which is here, personal object which I've created just to record and measure measures. It's just right here. It's very short. What get measure is the amount of note, the note number, divided by the time signatures denominator. That's all. So that's not that special. And then it adds, for every track that was in the original, it adds a track to the new. And then rounds those notes because the predicted notes are often decimals and they need to be an integer. I mean, you can record frequencies in MIDI. It's just the note value, the smallest value that you can use is a note. And let's say middle C is like, excuse me, let's say middle C is like 50. If you go 50.1, then it means nothing. It probably truncates it anyway. And then to that new track, it creates a MIDI message, note on and note off. I've tuned it a little bit so as to have a rest every 4 beats or every 4 measures, just so that the different parts sound more frankly unified. And otherwise, it just goes ahead and puts the note predicted, saves them to files, and then it tells you your file is ready. That's about it. Let's run it. So here we go, running it. Our MIDI is ready. Take a look at that. So those files are here, and let's hear what it sounds like. I'm going to switch over to Reason. Reason's my favorite DAW, by the way. It's kind of a MIDI is first class citizen in Reason, and it's kind of the opposite in most of the other DAWs. Import MIDI file. Let's go to Dev. Make sure we're in the right place. We're just going to drag it in. The first piece is right here, and you can see it's not quite all measured up, but it is measured up in time. But it's not quite identical. That's the point. That's the point of the software. And in Reason, it gives you an ID8 instrument, which is fine for now. I would like to give it. It does sound a little bit toy piano-ish if I don't give it a reverb. So we'll just give it a reverb and all plate spread. Let's do Hall or something. Healing's Hall. It's fun. And we'll play it. So there you go. Nice and short.